Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to the Spiritual Roundtable. This is my Wednesday afternoon live stream here at Star Nations, and it also means that it's our weekly card draw for the group. And so we use the cards, the information coming from spirit to spark a spiritual conversation about the energy that's flowing for us today that's important for us to know about. And the intention for the card draw is always about information that's important for us as a community and to help us along our way with our spiritual contract, and also how joy is involved with that. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to those that are in the live chat with me here at Facebook and also through YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. And I can't wait to get started with the spiritual conversation. That is my most favorite moments in this live stream is when we have a conversation. Okay, so we have a couple of cards today. I'm going to show you the card deck we're still using. We're still using this particular deck. It's Sacred Spirit Reading Cards by Anna Stark, illustrated by Lewis Dyer, and both illustrator and author are from Australia. It's turned out to be one of my favorite card decks. And I usually wait for my spiritual team to let me know that we're ready to move on to a new deck. We've been doing this particular live stream. We're going on 2 years. Can you believe that, guys? We've been doing this for almost 2 years. It's like, that's almost unbelievable, isn't it? So, yeah, I see a few people have joined us. Cindy's here. Hello, Cindy. I see you guys on my phone. Now, I can't really see you unless you actually make a comment. Why? I don't know. That's a Facebook thing. It's not my thing. It's a Facebook thing. Hey, Rochelle's here too. See, Rochelle made a comment, and I can show it on the screen. We do that with our partners at Be Live. Be Live allows us to do that and the kind of cool stuff in the background. So Rochelle says, hello, Neshi, grounded and shared. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to talk a little bit about that grounding stuff today, Rochelle. So thank you for being here. And so here we go. The deck that we're using, right? I remember when I got the nudge from my spiritual team. They were saying, let's go out and get a new deck. And I was scrolling through Amazon.com, and this particular deck showed up. Now, it's copyrighted. I think it was last year. So it's a brand new deck. Yeah, it was copyrighted in 2019. So it's a brand new deck, right? So, yeah, it has actually been pretty spot on, right? So we have 3 cards today, you guys. 3. So we best get started, huh? Oh my gosh, look who's here. Jen Armstrong's here. Hello, Jen. Good to have you here. It's good to see you in the house. All right, so here's the very first card, and it is called Open Intuition. Open Intuition. Seek clarification. Possible misinterpretations now. Okay. Open Intuition. Now, here's the thing, is that we've had this card before. But it's been quite a while since we've had this card. Okay. So open intuition, seek clarification. And look at all those eyes in the palms of his hands, in his heart, around his neck, at his third eye. And I find that if you look in the background, it looks like he has some energy waves or something right in the back of him. And it's in the shape of an eye. And there's also, let's see, I don't know if you can see that. Very interesting. And even the color, that color of dark blue. And then how it lights up around his heart, high Heart chakra. You can kind of see it just below the heart chakra in the solar plexus area. There's also some glowing blue light there as well. Yeah. Notice the palms are open to receiving, right? Open to receiving and open to giving. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus a little bit better. I want to take a look at his third eye. At first, I thought it was an eye, right? But it looks like, I don't know, it's kind of a kidney shaped at his third eye. And also notice that his physical eyes are closed. We don't even see his eyes. Light language all over his body and in his hair or her hair. Yeah. Number 29 in the deck, seek clarification, open intuition. So, numerology, that's an 11, right? That's a master number. Mastering the physical. Very cool. Open intuition. It says to seek clarification and possible misinterpretations now. We just Mercury just went direct. What was that? A couple of days ago, right? Saturday, Sunday, something like that. I think. Did it go direct? I thought it did. And one of the things about Mercury retrograde is about communication, right? And so it's interesting that we would get this card today. Now I can just hear Julie Hedges' voice in my head. Julie is one of our show hosts here at Star Nations, and she's our resident astrology and tarot expert. And so I can hear her saying that we're still in the shadow of the Mercury retrograde. Okay, that lasts about 10 days to 2 weeks. And so, yeah, that communication thing. And this particular retrograde was kind of a doozy, don't you think? Now, if you caught my show last night, I was sharing with you guys about Star Nations magazine, the July issue, and how smooth that process was, even though we were in Mercury retrograde. Oh my goodness, I forgot to turn off my dryer. I was doing laundry. So you might hear the beeping in the background every once in a while. But other aspects of what I do here at Star Nations and in my personal life was certainly affected, more so than ever. Usually Mercury retrograde is no big deal for me, every time I say, that I accept all the gifts of the Mercury retrograde and I release anything less than that. And I did that. And we had other things going on other than from through the magazine. So here we're sitting with this card that says that, opening your intuition, seek clarification, but also realize that there could be some miscommunications going on, right? Hey, Sally's here too. Hello, Sally. Good to have you here. And look, Violet's with us too. Hi, Violet. It's always good to have you in the house. Cindy said, I felt pressure below my sternum looking at that. Yeah, it's kind of an intense image, and yeah. Do you remember, and maybe some of you are also maybe experiencing it now, but do you remember when you realized that spirit was helping you, guiding you, right? Giving you information? And sometimes, especially when early on, we don't really trust it. It's like, is that my imagination? Did I really see, hear, or feel that? And then we start kind of paying attention to it and realizing that when we don't pay heed to it, that we're wrong. We get involved in situations that wouldn't necessarily have to be in had we listened to that little voice, right? That little voice. And so that's what we're talking about today. And that is the card draw in this first card that we received. And that is, come on, where'd he go? He's still in the book. This is open intuition. For those who are just joining us, seek clarification. You know, a lot of it's about opening your third eye, right? Opening to your intuition. And so many of us, we're not necessarily clairvoyant where we're going to see with our third eye. We're still taking in information through that chakra for sure, but we may take it in as a color. We could take it in as a sound, right, or a smell, depending on what your primary clair is. That's how you're going to experience that first wave of information. Jen is saying, yes, the retrograde. Our house sale fell through. So did our offer on the property we found. Back to where we started. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was a doozy, I have to say. I mean, I remember the day that I realized our Star Nation's website was a blank. It was like, took us 3 days to get it back online. And so I can imagine, Jen, that must have been so disheartening, right? Frustrating. Maybe even some anger involved with it, right? Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's all, I know it's easy to say, but when you're going through it, it's not that easy. And so let's see what the author has to say about this particular card. She says that intuition is the inner voice of the soul. Opening our intuitive channels and trusting the messages that we receive can be challenging in the beginning. Not knowing how to interpret these vibes can lead to confusion. For are you really listening, or is it just your imagination? And I have to say, even for those of us who've been aware and awake probably for a few decades, right? It's not our first rodeo, so to speak, our first dance. When it comes to listening to our intuition, tapping into it, right? Asking for clarification. And the more often we do that, the more trust we have in our spiritual team and in ourselves, right? So, for instance, when we are aware of something coming through our intuition and it has us going, what was that? Instead of jumping into our mental mind right away, right, is to take a breath and call in our spiritual team, our full team, and say, what did I just see? Tell me more about that, or show me more about that. What was that? Yeah. And so that way we get a little bit more information, right? And so we can start understanding it, perhaps not from our mental mind first. I know that's kind of odd, right? Not from our mental mind first, but from maybe a place of that knowing, that feeling, that emotion. And then we bring in the mental mind. And that's when we start connecting the dots, right? And then realizing, oh, that's connected to this, and this is connected to that. And then you start forming this picture, this mental image of how these things go together and what it could actually mean for you. And usually that's when we have our aha moments, when it clicks. And so she goes on to say that you are already intuitive. Every single one of us, everyone is intuitive, even those people who don't necessarily believe in intuition. They're intuitive too. We were born with it. We came in with it. It's part of our soul, right? So she goes on to say those gut feelings are your primary mechanism for this natural base instinct. It might seem daunting at first, but opening your intuition can be performed in a variety of ways. Being open and trusting to this is the start. Meditation, visualization, or connecting to your angels or guides to assist in this process can significantly increase your sensory perception and accuracy of the vision, right? So it really, what it really boils down to is trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, right? And I can share with you that every time I didn't listen to that intuition, to that voice that's saying this or that to me, I've been 100% wrong. Took the long way around. I took the more some would say eventful path. You know, there were more things that were challenging and downright painful in some ways, right? Because I chose that particular not to listen. Yeah. But that also builds our trust in ourselves. It's like because we know we can go, oh man, if I would have just listened to that, or if I would have just gone the direction that they showed me, right? So we understand it. It's just remembering to use it. It's remembering to use it. I think that's the key. All right. What's Cindy saying? She says, your rubber band is being stretched and will have a strong action. Yes, absolutely. And Jen says, LOL, we were in shock. I thought just continue on clearing and cleaning, clearing, and packing. It'll work out either way. Mind you, I was starting to feel very stressed, sore, and tired making the deadline. So in a sense, it was a relief and protected us whether we saw it or not. Right. Absolutely. And here's what I usually say to myself, Jen. Okay. And it works in so many different situations. Right time, right place. Right time, right place. Mentally, we may not understand it, right? But divine timing is everything. And so right time, right place. And who knows, you know, do you remember what we used to always say when we would be manifesting something, right? There's a little saying that we would put on the end of it, or something better, right? This that we're trying to manifest, or something better, because in our human mind, in our two-legged mind, we're not as expansive, right? And so we don't know everything. And so when we say something better, or if we believe in right time, right place, that opens it up rather than constricting it, right? Yeah. Hey, Jocelyn's here too. Hello, Jocelyn. Good to have you here, lady. Yeah, Jen says, yes, true faith. Yeah. And who knows, maybe days, weeks, months, even a year from now, when you look back at this, at the loss of the house and all of the sale and all of that, maybe you'll have some sort of insight in understanding why it had to happen the way it did, so that you can now be in the place that you're at that moment, right? And I know as a two-legged, sometimes we just don't want to wait. We just don't. All right, so she goes on to say, you may be experiencing unexplained headaches, migraines, or sinus complaints. This area around your third eye and crown chakra is currently stagnant or blocked and needs to be balanced. So right now, you must learn to decipher this internal guidance. You're receiving messages but are misinterpreting their meaning. Focus on clearing your mind and resetting your psychic antenna. Remain open to receiving signs and messages as you continue to build your skills using clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. Keep your intuitive journal and record those vibrations or premonitions you feel you receive. And the affirmation is, I am an open channel for my soul to seek its guidance. I'm going to say that again. I am an open channel for my soul to seek its guidance. Yeah. And so many times, it's really, for me, it really is about remembering that I'm a spirit, that I am my soul. It's not separate from me. That my soul isn't somewhere out there, right? That my higher self is not somewhere out there, but is right here, right here. And so when I'm experiencing something in the physical world, is when I turn to my spiritual team, which my soul is on, right? And say, okay, what really is going on here? What is this? What is this? Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you another example. And this has to do with Mercury retrograde. Speaking of Julie Hedges, Julie had contacted me. She wanted me to share with her an updated template from PowerPoint. Because sometimes we've been using PowerPoint to create our promotions here at Star Nations, and she wanted to take her own shot at it, right? She wanted to do that own creation piece, and I said, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And so I went to my templates and was going to do a save as, and because I have everybody's show in one PowerPoint, right, file, and so I was going to save as and delete everyone else's show except for Julie's. And the name of her show is Cosmic Conversations. Right. So she has two of them in this particular file. And so that's what I did. Renamed the file, saved as, renamed it, deleted out what she didn't need, added a couple things that's brand new that she'll need in the template, and I sent it to her. Simple. Until I reopened the file and realized that I hit save instead of save as, and deleted everyone else's show's promotional template that I use. Yeah, I was not a happy camper. Not. And so I thought, okay, all right, maybe this has to do with Mercury. Maybe has to do with redoing. Or maybe it is letting go of something old that has old energy to it, right? Okay, so then it was like, okay, so now I have to recreate this. And then I realized I'm going to recreate this, but I have to use something brand new that's not part of the old energy. And I had gotten a canva.com registered for it, right? To have the app. And it's a place where you can go create promotional stuff. I hadn't used it yet. Not really. I was just kind of playing with it. And I thought, okay, I can either spend my energy on trying to retrieve something old energy, or I can spend my energy in using a new tool to recreate the templates. That's the one I chose because that's the one I was guided to. And as soon as I realized that, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity, things went so smoothly. Yeah, it did take me it's a little bit of a learning curve because it's a new tool. But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have changed, wouldn't have used it in that way anyway. Right? So there we go. Right time, right place. Yeah, it's going, oh my God, I know. You should have seen my face. All right. So the second card, remember, this is how it usually happens for us, is that the first card is the main message, right? And the subsequent card or cards is to support that message and to help us understand that first message a bit deeper. So here's the second card. It's called Guardian. It's number 19 in the deck. Guard your energy. Visualize positive outcomes. It's a wolf. Actually, there's two of them in there. There's the one in the foreground, and then there's one in the background. Right? Again, light language all over his body. Guard your energy. Notice all 4 feet are on the ground, using his voice, communicating. You could say they're communicating together, to each other. Right? We have that red and orange in the background. And that so reminded me of both our root chakra and our sacral, our creation, right? Sunset or sunrise, new beginning or ending of the day. Then there's the moon. And the I don't know, it's not clouds, it's almost like energy waves or something. But it's coming from his mouth. Do you see that? So it's almost like he's speaking it into the universe, right? Yeah. Very interesting, don't you think? That we would have it's guard your energy, but it really is, to me, it feels more an additional piece toward communication. Number 19 in the deck, that's a 10, which is a 1, and it's about the creator and a new cycle, right? Yeah. And and I think it's interesting that it's an animal totem or a power animal. Guarding your energy. And when we talk about guarding our energy, it's so much about boundaries, right? So much about boundaries. Now, and I know that we talk a lot about boundaries here at Star Nations. We really do. But it's because it's important. It's important to be able to set those healthy boundaries, right? And the best place to set a healthy boundary is when you're grounded, centered, and protected, right? That you have the protection of your spiritual team. You have the protection of the creator, right? And so when we're experiencing needing to set a new boundary or reset an old boundary, we're coming from a place of stability when we do that, so that we can actually put those boundaries in place from a place of love instead of fear. So many times we end up setting a boundary out of fear, right? Ugh. I don't know. My charger thing doesn't always plug in all the way. I don't know why. There we go. Hopefully, because I noticed my battery was going low. You need to plug that in harder. Okay. So we have Wolf here to help us with that, or your power animal. Okay. Yeah. Jocelyn's saying they're howling at each other. Yeah, they're communicating. And actually, wolves are really good communicators. They really are. In my culture, in the Potawatomi culture, we got stories about how the wolves speak to each other from great distances, right? Because when they do that communication, it's usually because they're very community oriented. Did you know that? Very community oriented, very family oriented. And so when they in their communication, they are taking care of each other, right? And so, wolf energy, the spirit of the wolf, yes, it is about protection, but it's also about community. And in their community, the alpha male and the alpha female who mate for life, right? They protect the entire community. They don't lead. They're not walking in front of their entire pack. They're usually the last ones in the pack, and they're heading in a certain direction. And why? Is because that way they can watch over everybody. If they were in the lead, they wouldn't be able to see behind them and what was going on behind them. So that they watched and they protect the young and the very old. And so that's how they take care of each other. And a lot of it is about communication. Yeah. And here, Karen is saying, wow, even the second card resonates for my situation today. I have to say, even timing today worked for my ability to watch this today. Isn't that something, Karen? There's no coincidence, right? It is all in synchronicities. And, and I've always been one to really pay attention to those synchronicities. There's no flukes. There's no happenstance or anything like that, right? But in today's energy field, and all the shifting and major shifts of energy that we're experiencing, we really have to pay attention to those synchronicities. And they're happening multiple times a day, very frequency, right? So you might have one, and then right behind that one is another one, right? So you have to really pay attention. Pay attention to that communication that's going on around us, because it is communication. Yeah. Cindy's saying, clean the port. The dust collects in it. Probably. I probably should do that. Yeah. Yeah, it's been happening more often too. And after the show, I'll give it a good cleaning. Okay. All right. So here is what the author has to say. So she says that totem spirits, angels, and other shamanic spirit helpers are assigned to everyone at birth and can be discovered through vision quest meditations and deep forms of prayer. In ancient times, the medicinal assistance of hallucinogenic plants were also used. So here she's talking about allies, right? And our allies come to us in many, many different ways. Many different ways. And so our power animals, they're the ones that come in to help us when we're going through certain life lessons. We're learning about things. They're there to help us with that teaching. Okay. The birth totem animals, they're the ones that are there when we come in to the physical body, and they're with us through this entire physical life. And they too are there to teach us, but more importantly, they're there to help guide the bigger picture, right? The bigger story that we're weaving together. Yeah. Okay. So every individual has a guardian or guiding spirit that watches over them during their lifetime. Different stages of life can bring change to those helpers, depending on what lessons or guidance are needed to complete levels of soul growth or the soul's ascension. The wolf depicts challenges and personal boundaries and being able to trust others with your emotional vulnerability. Right now, you must guard your energy fiercely. Be mindful of how you feel energetically around others. Only you decide on a conscious or subconscious level if you wish to interact with any kind of energies, including toxic energies. So guard your energy, and then visualize positive outcomes, right? So guarding your energy is those boundaries. You can also call in your spiritual team to help you, to assist you in that protection. And here's the thing, is that when we trust that guarding of our energy, right? When we trust in our boundaries, when we trust in our spiritual helpers, our spiritual team in helping us and assisting and protecting us, we can relax. We don't have to be vigilant. We can relax. And in that relaxation, we get to be using our gifts in an open way, right? We can be open. We can be open to giving and receiving. We're not constantly using our energy to protect ourselves. Does that make sense? Some of it is about energy allocation, because when we trust in our spiritual team to assist us and to protect us, that means that our energy, our spiritual energy, is freed up to go and do what we're meant to do here, right? Yeah. Use our gifts. Learn those life lessons. All right. And then she goes on to say, currently, lunar cycles are influential. Be cautious of the full moon's influence over people and places. Always put your personal safety first. Avoid taking unnecessary risks. Be sure to clear and ground yourself after each session or experience to minimize mental and physical fatigue. So you might have to check if you don't have an activated Merkaba. Okay, that's the only one I know of that is 24/7, 365. Other protection and grounding and centering modalities or techniques last about 12 hours, right? And I say about 12 because it depends on what you ingest and what you're doing. It could weaken the field sooner than 12 hours. So you may have to check in periodically during the day to see how grounded am I, right? How centered am I? And you may have to tweak it a bit in between time. Okay, because of the shifting energy that we're in, because when we're grounded, centered, and protected, when and if we would receive information that would be a shock to us, or might be a trauma emotionally or mentally, it doesn't have to push us off balance, right? It doesn't have to pound us into the ground, into the mud. It doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. So when you're grounded, you're able to take in information, both from the seen and unseen, in a balanced way. Okay. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why being grounded, centered, and protected is important, especially in today's world. Okay. Jen is saying, I felt like my natural ability to manifest, which was very strong, had been totally stripped, like it tested my faith in the ability to energetically create, manifest. My partner said, don't stop manifesting, Jen. It's just a test. Yeah. Let's see. Don't stop manifesting. Jen, it's just a test. You are right to protect our intuition. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's this, is that when we're grounded, centered, and protected, and we're taking in information of all kinds, not just images, but all kinds of information, then we can discern for ourselves what is a truth for us individually, right? And then we can take that information and then start making our own decisions based in that centered, protected, and grounded place. Because there's a lot of information out there that may have a kernel of truth to it, or it may not, right? It could be a complete truth. But if you're knocked off balance, it's going to be harder to sense that. And then you have to start relying on other people. And when you start relying on other people and their interpretation of that information, it may not be at your frequency, right? It's at their frequency. So you're in a way, we're giving up our power, right? And so if you are a light worker, an energy worker, if you are awake, aware on your spiritual journey, you know that giving away your power is the last thing that you want to be able to create. Yeah. So that's where this, envision a positive outcome comes from too, right? Is that a benevolent outcome? I just put that one together with a friend of mine who's helping me with some healing work. And yeah, that phrase, benevolent outcome, is very helpful. So it's good, Jen, that you and your partner recognize that, right? Recognize it. And rather than taking it personally, right? And then beating yourself up over it, is to be able to take a step back, take some deep breaths, get grounded, centered, protected, and say, okay, talking to your spiritual team, what's going on here? What is this really about? What am I working on as a life lesson? And if I am, let's find the most graceful way to do that. Right? What do I need? Bring me all the resources that I need to be able to do this. However you say that for yourself, right? The most important thing is you're asking for their help. Jacqueline says, I love that card. Me too. Me too. And she says, I believe Wolf is my spirit guide. Yeah. Actually, Wolf is there for a lot of folks. Happens to be one of my birth totems. I walk with two of them. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to canine, right? So, and I also believe that there's also this communication piece in here, right? We also have to be open to receiving the information, right? Because it is working with that first card about open intuition, seek clarification, right? Very good. All right, here's the third. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to tell you the affirmation with the wolf. Here's the affirmation for this card. It says, I am clearly guided by my divine guardian. I am protected always. I am clearly guided by my divine guardian. I am protected always. Okay. All right, here's the third card. Now, this guy, you're just going to look awful familiar. Shield your energy. Number 32 in the deck. We had this guy the last time we had a show. I can't remember. Was I here last week? I think I was. I don't know. Oh my gosh. All right. So the last time I was here with you guys, we had this particular card. Shield your energy, frog energy, look beneath the surface, cleanse your space. Number 32 in the deck, that's a 5. 5 is all about transformation, right? It's all about transformation. And guess what? The frog can live both in water and on land. There's a balance in that, right? Frog medicine. And if you take a look at where his feet are placed, it would be his left foot is raised. It's not on the ground. So it's movement forward. And it's movement, okay, so your non-dominant hand is your receiving hand. Your dominant hand is your giving hand. So depending on which hand you're dominant, this card may have a slightly different meaning for you. So look beneath the surface, cleanse your space. One of the things that we learned about frog medicine the last time is that the frog can only thrive in a clean environment. Doesn't thrive, doesn't live in toxic environments, right? So in order for you to succeed right now, you must clear and screen your surroundings. Closely connected to the moon cycles, the frog encourages you to release your emotions in a healthy way. So when you're balanced, when you're grounded, when you're protected, when you do your healing work for yourself, when you're healing those emotional or mental traumas, you're in a good place to do that. When you're grounded, centered, and protected, and you're experiencing life, right? Maybe something does come up where it is emotional for you. To be open to receive the information, you may be in a position to have a balanced way of expressing your emotion, right? Rather than volatile, rather than aggressively, you might be maybe just assertive, right? Or maybe in your expression of your emotion, you actually help someone else to be able to express their emotion in a balanced way, right? So, frog medicine encourages you to look deeper into a situation to find the truth of the matter. The frog will challenge you to release anything that's holding you back from success, whatever that's defined for you. So, right now, the gentle energy of the frog totem is requesting you to look deep beneath the surface. Not everything is what it appears. Influence from toxic environments is suffocating your natural gifts and talents that need to be nurtured. Now is the time to take care of your health, releasing emotions and examining your own energy and how it interacts with others. And frogs, they use their throat chakra, right? They have their own song. Tree frogs, right? They have a song. And so here we go again with communication. But this one is more about your own voice. With the wolves, they were talking to each other, right? Intercommunication. This one is intra communication because there's not another frog in the picture. So you're being encouraged through this card is to look beneath the surface. The truth lies deeper. Your truth, a truth. And you have to admit that we are surrounded by a lot of information almost always, right? And especially now. Now, it's is it mask on, mask off? you know, are the numbers that they're reporting, is that accurate numbers? All kinds of information like that we really have to kind of say, is that a truth? Is that a truth? And so the frog medicine is asking us to look deeper. Is just don't accept what's on the surface. And when we're in that space, when we're grounded, centered, and protected, we can do that and discern that truth for ourselves, right? For ourselves. Yeah. Jen is saying the retrograde had me laying on the earth more than once every day just to plug into her resonance and continue to clear, clean, organize. LOL, the frog. Right. Exactly. Exactly. And you probably felt better afterwards, right? You didn't feel the chaos. In Potawatomi, there's a word. It's called shoshkian, something like that. And that is in weather. when it's kind of a mixture of precipitation. It could be like a mixture of snowy, sleety, rainy. It's not one and it's not the other. That's what that means. It's kind of in between. And so when energy is like that out there and it's affecting you here, yeah, think about that a bit. What is your belief? Do you believe that you are creating your own reality? What you see out there is a reflection of you and what's going on inside, right? So like Jen, instead of freaking out, is to get quiet. Ground to grandmother earth, right? Shift whatever is going on inside of you to a higher frequency, and you're going to shift on what you're seeing out there. And you can do that best when you're grounded, centered, and protected. Yeah. So, the card draw intention is always about information, energy that's important for us to know about, that's flowing this week, that is helping us with our soul contract, our life lessons, and also to help us to remember our joy. Our joy. And so you can see how the cards in that first card is all about being open to intuition, right? Taking in all kinds of information, both the seen and unseen, and more about the unseen. Yeah, good stuff. It's really good stuff. Jen is also saying, I use the frog card a lot. It helps, frog call a lot. It helps you heal the throat chakra. It ripples through the whole body. Frog medicine. That's right. That's right. They have their own song. In fact, the affirmation for the frog card, is, I sing the beautiful sacred song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. I sing the beautiful sacred song of my heart, clear and loud for all to hear. So yeah, you're utilizing your throat chakra, right, to let everybody know what your frequency is, what's all about in your heart. Kind of cool. Karen says, these cards cover all bases, spiritual, emotional, and expression. We all should find the beauty in these and the messages coming through. I know, loving it too. I do too. I love these kind of conversations, period. Well, I said, wow, this was very helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Now, there's one thing that we've learned in this show since the very beginning, right? Is that when I show you all three cards together, it's a very large energy field. And so if you haven't done your grounding today, just take a moment and do that. It doesn't take long. And while you're doing that, I'll explain the rest of it. Is that when you're grounded, you're able to take in the amount of information that's meant for you in the optimal amount, in the optimal way. Okay. And so we'll take a deep breath in, and you'll call to your team, your spiritual team, get them all with you because they're already there. You're just turning your attention to them and asking them for help. Okay. And that is to help you bring in the information that's meant for you in the best way possible. Okay. And then it's a powerful moment. Let me get all the cards put together here. All right. Okay. You ready? All right. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, calling to your spiritual team, asking them, the whole team, to be there with you, asking them to help you to bring in the information that's meant for you in an optimal way, in an optimal amount. Okay? So here we go. Here's the 3 cards together. Right? First it was, I almost dropped that one. First it was open your intuition, seek clarification. Number 11, 29, that's a master number. That's about mastering the physical world, opening your intuition, right? Taking in the information. And then we had guardian, guard your energy. In order to be this open, you have to be protected. You have to have healthy boundaries, right? Guard your energy so you can be fully open. It's number 19 in the deck. That's a 1. That's a new beginning or beginning of a new cycle. And then we had frog medicine. Shield your energy. Look beneath the surface. Look beneath the surface. And all of it is about communication, bringing in all kinds of information in both the seen and unseen, being open to it. And in order to be that open with that kind of communication, the 2 wolves are talking to each other. That you're able to take in that information. And frog medicine was about looking beneath the surface. It's to shield your energy in order to do that. Right? So one might even say that we have maybe there's going to be information coming out from different sources that may be kind of shocking, right? That may answer a question for you. That may be an aha moment for you. And in order to really take it in, you have to be grounded, centered, protected, right? To really take in that information, no matter what that is in your environment. And remember, frog thrives in a clean environment, a sacred space. So maybe that is your physical space, but perhaps it's your inner space, right? So yeah, take in the information, both the seen and unseen. And however that vibrates or resonates with you, my suggestion is to embrace it. Embrace it and then watch, sense, feel, see how the energy this week is unfolding around you and where you are able to use this information to navigate through it or with it, right? Mm-hmm. And what? If it didn't resonate with you, no worries. Don't worry about it. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all. None. There's always next week's cards that might be in your vibration, okay, and meant for you. Who knows? Perhaps you are the messenger. Maybe that's why you sat through this entire video live stream. And you have a friend or a family member that says, "Oh, that's for them." You know, and you're the messenger, and you can just share the link with them, and then you're all done. You're done. Yeah. So, I love these conversations with you guys. I do. It's fun and insightful, right? Yeah, I do. I like it. I like it a lot. So here's this. At Star Nations, we have 10 live stream shows a month. A couple of them are weekly. And so this week, my show was last night, Communications from Home. I'm on Tuesday nights. And coming up on Thursday is Angel Therapy with Maureen Mann. And Maureen, let me get her information up here. Yeah, she's starting a new series on her show, Angel Therapy. She's on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And the series is Healthy Boundaries. Can you believe that? Healthy Boundaries. She's going to be sharing about how to establish and maintain your boundaries. Learn the difference between self-care, people-pleasing, and selfishness. She'll also lead you in a guided meditation, a healing meditation to clear your energy so that you can honor your own boundaries. And then even bring in authentic relationships and experiences into your life. And then the second half of the show, she always does angel card readings for as many people as she can in that about 30 minutes or so. Okay. And one of the things that she's added to her show for the card readings is they're doing random selection of card readings, the people to read for, because otherwise the same people who get there early and put their name in, they're the only ones that get a card, which is okay, but that's not very fair, you know? And so producer Rob Coulter and Maureen, they figured out a random way to do this. I think Rob is using the I Ching to do the selection of the people when they come, the names pop in. Okay, so join Maureen. It's going to be a really good show. And it kind of dovetails with this one, don't you think? It dovetails with that. And we're talking about boundaries. So with that, enjoy your Wednesday. And we'll see you back here next Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time for the Spiritual Roundtable and then next week's energy cards. All right. Bama Mina. That's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.